this person was in a team that did a Monster X. Howdy, Meowers. We are back once again. Hello.
Hello, Meowers. And
I'm Almohnd.
Almohnd! I don't know why I forgot your name, Almohnd. And Almohnd. Howdy. And I'm Devin.
Hi, Devin.
Hi.
So I'm back again because we're once again talking about Boys Planet. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, so depending on how you feel about Boys Planet, you might not care about this episode, you might be tired of it, you might think, how can they still be talking about Boys Planet? Well, don't worry, we're going to be talking about the finale today. So Boys Planet is over, you probably won't hear that much more about Boys Planet from us.
Yep, it is over, and I mean, you might hear about, the group that formed from Boys Planet from us, but you won't hear about Boys Planet. It is finally over.
Finally. So we're going to be sharing our thoughts, comments, sort of reaction to the final episode, and also the group that was formed, because they didn't debut yet, but they just did their first live as a group. We kind of have seen the commentary on the final episode with the top 9 who made it in, so we've got a little glimpse of what this group is going to look like.
Yep.
Okay.
So where are we going to start?
We're going to start with, get it out of the way now, the ballad song, the obligatory ballad finale song, Not Alone. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Gosh, honestly, kind of completely forgot about it, like I would with most ballads.
Okay. It's nothing special. We barely got any screen time at all.
Yep.
Even though his vocals really carried through, just like with the Here I Am intro, like signal song.
Oh yeah, they used him for that.
Yeah. So that was disappointing. But, it's what I expected. I knew it was coming. I knew, and it happened.
Disappointed but not surprised.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on to the real stuff that happened. They did two teams of 9, because there were 18 contestants left for the last episode. They split into 2 teams. One team was Jelly Pop team. The other team was Hot Summer team. And those were new, fresh, original songs created for this show.
Yes. So right away, we knew we had a favorite song here, right?
Right. Just from the name alone.
Yeah. Jelly Pop was clearly going to be our jam.
Clearly.
And that it was.
Yeah, Jelly Pop is better.
Much better than Hot Summer. Is that what it's called? Hot
Yeah.
Summer? Yeah. Absolutely 100% always I would pick Jelly Pop over Hot Summer. There's no way I'm picking Hot Summer. No, Jelly Pop. And so it was time for them to be assigning parts and teams. And it's okay. We need all of the good people to go on to Jelly Pop, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that they could pick
Pick and kick.
Yeah, yeah. They could pick where they wanted to go. So they had to also want to go on those songs, and then they had to not get kicked from the song by someone else that picked later, because of course, what did they do? They had them pick in order of ranking yet again. So Sung Hanbin got to pick last, like he always does. So he got to pick whichever one he wanted, which makes it a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And so we're watching, and they're going to pick their teams, and we're watching everyone go to the teams that they're going to. And it was quickly becoming quite clear that everyone was like doing the right thing, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone was in the right mindset here because all of the people that we liked were going to Jelly Pop. It was great. So yeah, we had people like Hui, obviously, you know, we always are talking about Hui. Hui's going to Jelly Pop. We're like, yes, perfect. We also had Sock Matthew going to Jelly Pop, of course, right? Of course. And then we had one of my favorites, Ganuk, went to Jelly Pop. I was like, okay, yes, this is lighting up. Zhang Hao, oh my god. Okay, Zhang Hao. And then
so the Jelly Pop team ended up being Zhang Hao, Hui Taek, Seungon, Park Ganuk, Kim Junhyun, Park Hanbin, Nak Himdin, Jae, and Matthew.
Yeah, and we saw this final lineup and we were like, oh my god, this is it. This is the group. This is our lineup. You know, all of a sudden it became very clear. Like, I was like, I can live with this if we just make like 1 or 2 switches.
Yeah, there were some that could be switched out. For sure. Definitely one.
Because for a while I was like, you know, I knew like my top like 3 or 4 people that I would want. But like a lot of the other people that I wanted got eliminated. So I was like, I don't really know what I would do for a top 9.
Yeah.
But then I saw the Jelly Pop group and I was like, oh my god, this is top 9. This is it. But I really did want Jongwoo, the boy that I say it looks like he's from Stray Kids. I really did want him to get through. And I was like, you know what, like Taeray, you know, he's been like getting more popular. He could get through too. So I was like, okay, I just switch out maybe like Jay, maybe not Camden. And then there's your top 9. There's your lineup. So that was like what I was rooting for, top 9, once I saw it, you know, in front of me. That would be my lineup.
I agree. Mostly, I think Keita should have made it in. I didn't really like have this strong like Jongwoo desire, but like I kind of feel bad because I feel like he was giving more than he was getting.
Yeah.
And I kind of like thought it was cool how much he was climbing, so if he made it in, like that would be really great for him.
Yeah. And
Kim Tae-rae, yeah, I would have added him in. And I get your conspiracy about Sung Hanbin. I do. I'll need to see him in the group and how he acts in the group, because spoiler alert, we all know he was gonna make it anyway. So
we all know.
So I don't hate Sung Hanbin or anything. So like if he got in the group, which I knew he would, I wouldn't have minded. I don't have a problem with him. So, I mean, except for what he did during Tomboy. I do have a problem with that. But, you know, other than that.
I've absolutely seen enough from, like, day 1, like, episode 1, I had seen enough of him to be like, okay, yeah, nah, dude. This boy is, like, acting, like he's talking to, you know, the elderly or a teacher right now. You know, he's not acting genuine to me in terms of, like, it doesn't mean he is mean or bad, but it's just like I am not getting enough, like I feel like I'm getting tricked or like I'm getting sold, you know. So like that always makes me a little bit like, you know, stop it, like don't try to pull one over on me with your charm, that sort of thing.
Don't try to manipulate me.
Yeah. So obviously then if that was that team, then the other team was the other people. But why don't you just read it off anyway? Just to jog everyone's memory. Hot Summer Team.
Hot Summer Team was Sung Hanbin, Kim Tae-rae, Kim Ji-young, Han Yoo-jin, Ricky, Lee Jong-hyun, Gyubin, Keita, and Jongwoo.
Yeah, and so if you've been listening in past episodes, you might be hearing a lot of names there that we maybe didn't really want to get into the group very much. No offense, but
I was worried though, because it seemed very clear, like it seemed like Hot Summer Team had a lot of the fan favorites.
Yep.
And
it was a fan favorite type of song.
Look at what happened. Yeah, it was a fan favorite type of song too.
Yeah, so those were the general people that got on the teams, but as we said, they weren't just picking which song, they also were picking which position they wanted. So how did that work out? Well, I'll tell you how it worked out, Self. It worked out kind of like the one key point that you might think I wouldn't have liked was actually really good. I don't mean key point. Basically, Hui got to be main vocal, right?
Right.
Which everyone kind of wanted him to be that on the Jelly Pop team. Like the boy that was literally standing there before was like someone he's like kick me. So he got kicked out of main vocal, and Hui got to be main vocal for Jelly Pop. And then who did we have over as main vocal on the other side, Hot Summer? We had Jay.
Right.
Everyone remembers how this has been going the whole time. Hui main vocal versus Jay main vocal, right?
Right from the very beginning.
Yeah. Thankfully though, sorry, Sung Hanbin swooped in at the end, you know, because he got to pick last, and there was one spot left over, right? Because he was picking last.
Yeah.
The one spot left over was
sub vocal 6
on
Jelly Pop.
Yeah, on Jelly Pop. So it was like, okay, Hanbin, if he doesn't kick someone, which we all know he always kicks someone, he doesn't stop to think, oh, you know, maybe let's have someone else get a chance to have the spotlight, because I definitely don't need it, like Kong Daniel did in season 2. He says, no, I get to take whichever part I want, so I will take it. So he did not go to Jelly Pop in the open spot. He went and he kicked Jay out of main vocal on Hot Summer, which was good because then Jay was not being he was not being main vocal. And
therefore
Hanbin
not pitted against Hui again.
Yeah. And then also Hanbin was not going on Jelly Pop, which I didn't want him on Jelly Pop personally. The only bad thing was that it made Jay go on Jelly Pop, which I didn't want, but he was sub vocal 6. So that was like the spicy, you know, part kicking thing moment, I think.
Yeah. So before we kind of like, you know, share our thoughts about the actual performance, we'll talk about like more about the parts. So we know Hui's main vocal. We know Jay got sub vocal 6 for Jelly Pop team. They had to do a fan vote, like the killing part position, which is, you know, the most coveted position.
Gets the most screen time.
Was decided by fan vote, but they had like so many stages of like, you know, temporary killing part, and like, okay, here, all the other team watch and decide who you think should get the killing part. And like they went through a bunch of stuff, even though in the end everybody knew it was going to be fan vote.
Yeah.
So I feel kind of bad for Sok Matthew because he was like really wanted the killing part, obviously, and he was doing really good at it. It fits his vibe, you know. But Zhang Hao ended up getting the killing part because obviously he's really popular too, and you know, I'm not like complaining or upset that Zhang Hao got it because he got it and he did a good job.
Yeah, he did
but
a great
I
job.
just like, you know, it's kind of sad to see Sok Matthew have to give it up just because somebody else had more votes.
Yeah, like I don't know why I didn't ever think of that before, but like the fans were voting. Like every person recorded, like they recorded the dance practice like 9 times with every different person being the center, and then uploaded those so that people could vote on them for who they thought was the best. And I just was, for some reason, only thinking about the people watching it and voting for who they thought did the best. But I forgot that they were probably just voting for their favorite, like, person. Like, it was just a popularity contest, you know, in some terms.
Yeah. So Zhang Hao got killing part, and then he also got sub vocal 2. And Yu Seung-on got sub vocal 1. And Matthew ended up getting sub rapper because Camden actually got main rapper, which I think is kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, why? I guess Matthew didn't kick someone. He just like did he pick that one? He must have picked that one because he must have picked before. Not Camden did.
Yeah.
Oh,
not Camden was first to pick.
Oh yeah,
he was
18 first to pick. But maybe Sok Matthew didn't even pick rap, or maybe he picked something else and he got pushed there. I don't remember.
Wow.
Wow.
So if we go and look at the Hot Summer team, move over to their positions, we know that Sung Hanbin got the main vocal. Well, big surprise here, not. He also got the killing part because once again, fan voted. Everybody's going to vote for him for the killing part. So if we look at the difference there, that's pretty interesting. I think that he had the two biggest parts, but Jelly Pop split it.
Yeah, they had a little bit more of an equal distribution.
Yeah, and then Keita actually got main rapper, but I feel like he once again barely got any recognition for that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like when I think about the end result. Wink wink.
And then Kim Tae-rae got subvocal 1, and actually Kim Ji-yoon got subvocal 2. I didn't even know that. So
when there's a subvocal 6, I'm just saying. No, did both teams have the same exact part pieces? Okay.
Now moving on to how we thought the actual performances went, starting with Jelly Pop.
I liked it. I think it was great. Something I'll say about, it's kind of about both of them, so sorry.
Okay.
But I actually liked, it's maybe really random and really weird, but I liked how the styling and the outfits were both kind of similar and kind of normal, if that makes sense. Like Jelly Pop, they were wearing it didn't look like they were wearing costumes, it was more like street clothes type of styling, but fitting for their song. And then Hot Summer was also a similar thing. So it wasn't like one group came out with suits. One group came out with the really edgy jumpsuit sort of looks or anything.
Yeah.
They were sort of equal. I just feel like it was kind of nice that they were, both fitting for their songs, but also one didn't seem like it was extra different.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Dance Mom situation.
Yeah. The styling seemed fair to me, fair and good.
Yeah, I actually have a comment about both of them, and that's I think it was very obviously they were going the same direction that they went for Produce 101 Season 2 with the super hot team versus the Hands on Me team. It was one's a lighter, kind of weird in a way, fun song, and then the other one is a darker sort of slow song.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the butt choreography in Jelly Pop.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that was actually real, but it was. But yeah, I really liked Jelly Pop, because like I said, so many of the people I was rooting for and I liked, so, it was just an all-around good time, pretty much, to be oh, now it's this person's turn, oh, they're doing great too, and, I think people did great. I think Zhang Hao really did kill it with the killing part. So yeah, I really liked it. I would listen to that song again.
Yeah, I actually noticed that Jelly Pop is getting higher streams than Hot Summer, so there. But yeah, Zhang Hao did great for the killing part. I liked how we finally got to see him doing a brighter concept, because the whole time we hadn't seen him do anything except dark stuff like Kill This Love and Over Me and stuff like that.
Yeah, the lights were always off on the stage.
I thought it's fun, it's catchy, I like the lighter vibe usually in general. Most of my picks were on that team. I think that the parts ended up fitting people really well.
Yeah.
I thought that actually Park Han-bin did a really good job, but he didn't have that much time, which I feel bad about. And Ganuk had I was surprised to see how well he did in that song.
But yeah, because he had a lot of tough concepts before.
Yeah, but I thought he did great.
Yeah.
And I've seen some fan cams. I watched Hui's fan cam, and I watched Park Han-bin's fan cam, and Zhang Hao, and Ganuk, and maybe that's it. But they all did good in their fan cams. They were having fun. It looked I thought it was good. Oh, and I thought that Sunwon's vocal parts sounded good too.
Yeah, I thought it was very like very cohesive, very like professional in terms of like they really seemed like they adapted to it well. Like it didn't seem like, oh, we're doing this song. It seemed like this is our song, you know? And they were like, these are our members. Like it seemed like they could have been a group that could have been their song. Like I was just fully sold on the like the image, you know? It was, everything looked like it worked together. It didn't look like it was pieced together.
Yeah. Now on to the hot summer team. I thought that, I'll just say right off, I liked the choreography better, I think. I think. It was more memorable, I guess.
I was going to say I don't remember it. I don't actually remember anything about hot summer. I must have blocked it out.
Like I thought it looked, I guess, like it had more choreography elements, whereas Jelly Pop, I just remember it seeming more like they were having like fun.
Very bouncy.
Yeah. And I thought it was better than I thought it would be, considering like the people that were on it, but it sounds really familiar to me. Like, I don't hate the song. It's listenable. I think overall for Boys Planet, the songs are pretty good, actually. Like, if you compare them to some of the other ones from Mnet shows, like, I think most of them are actually listenable. But Hot Summer just sounds like something to me. So if anybody knows, if they think it sounds like something too, leave a comment and tell me what you think it sounds like, because it's really familiar and I don't know what it sounds like.
I don't know what it
like
sounds
mostly
like.
the chorus, but
I'm
I don't
sorry,
know.
I can't help. I won't be leaving a comment.
I also want to say that Keita did so good, and I feel bad for him because he like just totally stopped getting recognition at some point in the show. I don't have a problem with him. I think he's talented in like all aspects, but they just stopped showing that. It seemed like in the first couple episodes they cared about highlighting the different things that he could do, but he was so like, you know, like so unfeatured. They didn't even really show him in the final episode, but I thought his rap tone was really good. It sounded kind of like Pentagon or like the boys' rap tone, maybe. I don't know, but I thought he did a good job, so I feel bad that he didn't get much recognition.
Yeah, I feel like there was one other person in Hot Summer, or maybe it was the other one. There was another person that I was like, wow, I completely forgot that they were in that song, because I don't think I saw them one time, but I don't remember who it was. But yeah, I know people are gonna probably be really annoyed by me and my takes. Like they're gonna feel like Rhett and Link talking about chocolate and peanut butter. Like there's this thing. Yeah, there's this thing. If you've ever seen Rhett and Link, A Good Mythical Morning, they do a lot of food taste testing, and it's sort of a thing where like if there's a chocolate and peanut butter variety, that almost always gets voted way up to the top, you know? And it's like, why are we even listening to your takes? You know, why are we even watching your ranking? We know you're just going to put chocolate and peanut butter at the top. You don't even give any of these other things a chance. But at the same time, it's like, well, that's just their preference. They like that flavor, so it's going to end up going up to the top a lot, you know?
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So, yeah, I know people are probably like, we don't even care. Like, we get it. You don't like Hot Summer. You didn't like those people, so obviously you didn't like it. But I can't help it if that's just my taste. So, yeah, I didn't really like Hot Summer, but it wasn't like you said, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Like, it wasn't as bad as Over Me from the week before, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even though I didn't like it, I liked Jelly Pop better. It wasn't like, oh my god, I can't watch this or anything. It was just, I thought it was kind of boring, and I just thought that it seemed more like the people were individuals. It didn't seem as much that they were, like, a group.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The final lineup.
Ooh.
You probably already know it, but if you don't, we're going to tell you right now, so buckle up. Here it goes. We're going to announce that, we're just going to share our thoughts. We're not like, I don't want to go one by one being like, oh, like, because everybody probably knows.
Spot number 8. We're starting with 8. We're going to leave 9 for last.
This person was in a team that did a Monster X. So Kim Ji-yoon, he got 8th. He was the first to be announced for the debut lineup, and nobody was surprised.
Well, and if you are not proficient in the names here, you more so just know them as we've talked about them. That is the actor man.
Actor man, yeah.
As I've talked about before. So you know how well I liked that result. Yeah. He
maybe it's surprising he got 8th.
Scraped in, yeah, because he was much higher at some times.
Yeah.
Much higher. But he did scrape his way in, and that was one spot taken by a hot summer member, I guess. And so already I was getting worried, because I wanted most of the, people to be coming from Jelly Pop. I didn't have much room to spare. So I was like, okay, that's already one that's wrong, but, let's slow down.
So then spot 7 ended up going to Kim Gyu-bin, which, I don't know if you've heard some of our takes in our previous episodes, but, another, let's just phrase it as another spot from Hot Summer that should have been filled with Jelly Pop.
Yeah, definitely. And you already know the past episodes, I think, about both of those. I feel like I had a similar problem with.
Yeah. Okay, so without saying too much, we're just gonna move on to spot 6 went to Kim Tae-rae. So it's like, okay,
I can deal with that.
Hot summer team, but he's the one that was like, we kind of maybe want to replace the Jelly Pop with a Hot
I could have
Summer.
made room for him.
Yeah. And then spot 5, Park Gun-woo. Okay,
yeah,
your
one.
pick.
Yeah,
I
knew from episode 1. I was like, okay, everyone thinks this boy is mean, but he is nice. I can tell.
It was very actually, quite surprising to see him jump all the way up to 5.
Yeah.
And
people finally realized it.
Spot 4 actually was a bit of a shock, at least for him. And actually, the trainees in the audience too, because they always invite back the trainees who got eliminated. They seemed shocked too when Ricky got 4th.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like good for him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't have a spot for you in the group, Ricky, but out of all of the people here, that I didn't make room for, if you're gonna somehow get in, at this point I'm like, you know what? Good for you, Ricky. Good for you.
Okay, so before announcing 1 and 2, which we all knew who was going to be 1 and 2 before we even tuned in, but let's talk about spots 3 and 9, because maybe there was some with these 2 people individually and spot 9 in general, those were kind of the question people and the question spot.
Yeah.
So Sok Matthew ended up getting spot 3. And just the week before, he had got spot 9.
Whew.
So he jumped, he made it, he pulled through. Good for Sok Matthew.
Woo, Sok Matthew. But now what we're looking at is, if you remember, that is 2 members from Jelly Pop haven't gotten through, and 4 from Hot Summer. So not looking good so far for the ideal lineup.
Yeah. But nothing we didn't expect in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, so spot 9 is the one that they actually announced last. And this was, I still at this point didn't know if we should be getting into the lineup or not. But if he was getting in, this was the time that he needed to be called. He didn't have another chance.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Hui, it was Han Yujin.
Yeah.
I kind of honestly thought maybe he wouldn't make it.
Yeah, I could have believed it. Well,
even though he was top, in the top every week, I kind of thought maybe people wouldn't have him as their one pick, but they apparently did.
I thought, like, if he didn't make it, like, all of the top places had already been called and he wasn't there. So I was kind of like, okay, well, if he didn't make it there, then he probably didn't make it. I didn't think he would be, like, moved down just a little bit, you know, I guess. But at the same time, I guess if we look at it, like, I don't know who else I would have thought it would have been, you know? Like, there wasn't really another high-ranking person left.
I was hoping it would have been Park Hanbin because he had gotten, 10th?
Oh, yeah, he was
11th,
around that level.
Yeah, so, but it wasn't him, so I was disappointed. But maybe, you know, I'm still hoping that Wake 1 somehow gets their act together and debuts, like, even just another, like, JBJ style temporary thing with all their really popular Boys Planet trainees. He could maybe be included in that, or maybe they just... I find it hard to believe that they would debut another group when they already are dealing with Girls Planet popular people like Kepler, and now Wake 1 is managing this Boys Planet group, and they are trying to push TL1, which is, you know, really awkward. But, you know, they should do something while their people have attention.
Yeah. Even if it's not even a group, even if, like, they should just let them do stuff. Like, sometimes, you know, pre-debuted, like, you know, trainees that haven't debuted yet make content.
Yeah. So that leaves spot 1 and 2.
Spot 1 and 2. So we already know it's not Hui.
It's not Hui. It's between Sung Hanbin and Jong Hao.
Of course.
Of course. Right from the very beginning, here I am. We had the 2 centers, the Korean center and the global center. They made it to spot 1 and 2. Just who's going to be spot 1, who's going to be spot 2.
This is what happens when Mnet doesn't get to manipulate things, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
Except they did manipulate. I believe it. They just manipulated it in a different way. Like, I don't think they manipulated Hanbin and Jong Hao. I think they manipulated other aspects.
Yeah. Like with the editing.
Yeah.
So, let's just say, because like I said, most people would probably know by now that the actual first place went to Jong Hao.
Whoa!
Yeah. So, yeah. First global center.
Wow.
And he's from China. So how Mnet let that one slide.
Wow. Yeah, if you guys know anything about like Chinese members in K-pop groups, then wow, that is shocking that happened.
Yeah. So it was, you know, the whole big ceremony of Jong Hao's win and Sung Hanbin's second place. You know, everybody was happy, but we all expected it at the same time. And, you know, they walked on up there. They sat down, Jong Hao in the middle seat, dethroning Sung Hanbin's first place streak the entire time.
Like, Sung Hanbin doesn't even know what one of the other chairs feels like at this point.
Yeah, he literally was first every week. But the finale, he was second. So that happened.
I'm glad.
But I'm glad too, because it was something actually surprising.
Yeah. That leaves only 3 members from Jelly Pop getting through. 3 members from Jelly Pop, and also, I guess you would say 4 members of my like ideal top 9.
Mm.
Because I guess I was putting Taeray in from Hot Summer,
So, that's our lineup, and we now know that, well, it's not fresh, they announced it in the episode, but the group name...
Oh yeah, the group name.
ZEROBASEONE. Yep. That's it. That's the name. Whoever picked that, it was apparently fan suggested, so... okay.
Did they only get one suggestion?
It'll, I would say it'll grow on us, but I don't think it will. It's weird.
Like, here's the point where you have to start to think, okay, what's worse? ZEROBASEONE or Kepler, where the L is a 1?
I would take ZEROBASEONE, but they're still bad.
ZEROBASEONE, but
They're
still
both
bad.
They're also calling it ZB1, but
Yeah.
who knows? I think you're supposed to use ZEROBASEONE more often, but ZB1 is there.
And also, it's extra stupid because
Wanna One.
Yeah, 101, the group that was formed from Produce 101 season 2, had a program that they did once they were a group that was called Zero Base.
Yeah.
And they had a whole place, and it was Zero Base, like that they had like a place where they did fun stuff. And so now this other group is called ZEROBASEONE. Like, it's I'm only gonna think of 101.
Yeah, like I don't understand why they picked that one out of all the suggestions that they probably got.
Yeah, I'm like, you're honestly telling me that there was nothing better than that. One that is only going to make people think of 101, even if it did sound good, which it doesn't.
Yeah. So that's the lineup. That's the name. Now, we just found out today during, like I mentioned at the beginning, ZEROBASEONE, ZB1 did their first live as a group. I can't say V Live because that's not an app anymore. I can't say Weverse Live because it's not on Weverse. I don't know if I'm supposed to be calling it an Mnet Live, an M Plus Live. I don't know, so I'm just calling it a live.
Yeah.
But they announced their fandom name, which is Jerod, which is like zeros, but also it's kind of like my rose, or like rose and zero blended together. So that's a thing. And which, what else, I guess, would the name be? Like,
Yeah.
They didn't have many options for the fandom name to sound like something like fitting, I guess.
It's a little uninspired at the same time, though. It's not like even Twice's fans are called Once. It's like a different,
Yeah.
It's like a different number, but they're just like ZEROBASEONE, zeros is pretty much, like what we would have to say.
Yeah. So there's that. And they keep doing this, like, they have like a little symbol. I guess they'll probably use that often, and it's a 0_1, or like sometimes they make the 0 a heart emoji. So I'm guessing that's gonna be a recurring thing that they use.
What the heck?
And their group intro is D1 Be the One. I don't know.
I don't know who is on their like idea bank team. I don't know what to call it, but like whoever's doing their, not marketing, whatever it is, I don't know who those people are, but I don't think that their style is the same as mine.
Yeah.
Of wanting things to make sense, because I don't really get that. It's like it's too obscure, I think.
Yeah.
Or else it's too direct. I'm not sure. One or the other. At least their name isn't Gravity, am I right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stand Gravity. Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
Like, I would say, when I see Gravity stuff, like besides their group name, when I see Gravity stuff, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Good for them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like a super fan of this, but like at the same time, sometimes I see young or early groups, and I'm like, you guys should not have debuted yet, or what in the world are you guys doing? And I don't see that with Gravity. I'm always just like, adrenaline, it's fine.
Yeah. It's not even like, I'm not even saying that because of like their music, so hopefully they have good B-sides or something if I ever do give them more of a chance than I've given them. But like I keep seeing like content, like short bits and stuff, and it seems like they could be a good group. I don't know though. I really don't know much about Gravity.
I actually think this is, we're getting a little off topic,
Yeah.
but they were in the game caterers that we watched for Starship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while they were a bit odd at times, they also were kind of like, making content, right? Like their presence on the show, like when they were just eating in their room later and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
wasn't it kind of like a vibe?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was my vibe, but like they weren't nobodies, you know? Like they knew what they were doing. They were on a show and they were doing it right, I think.
Yeah.
So I can understand if their like little clips would seem good.
Mm. So stay tuned for that. If you're a lovity, you might hear some Gravity stuff in the future. Who knows? But anyway, back to ZEROBASEONE. Let's talk about, like, overall this lineup, some nuances to the lineup, okay? We've got 4 people from the same company, which is, like, that's like, wow, that's so many. Usually they have about 2 for usually in the produce groups or like Girls Planet, they have like 2 people from the same company on average, but like to see 4 Weihwas get through makes me kind of a little bit like side-eye Weihua a little bit.
How many trainees did they send? Like 10 or something?
Yeah, they sent Weihua and Wake One both sent so many. Yeah,
because they sent like a chunk of globals and a chunk of K like options, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well that's, you know, they were there's a phrase for it, you know. I believe the phrase is something like throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. They were like, let's just put them all out there and see if any of them get in. Yeah.
And so it's kind of surprising that 4 made it in, and when Wake One was doing the same thing, only one Wake One got in, Kim Tae-rae. But we had 3 globals get in, which I guess, I suppose, like, Kepler has 3 globals too, but there's actually 2 Chinese members, so that is, like, I feel like fans were kind of assuming Mnet was going to try to only put Zhang Hao, and that's it, based on how they were starting to edit, like, Ricky and Matthew.
Yeah.
But Matthew is global, he's Korean, Canadian, and Ricky also lived in LA, he said.
Oh,
so he's kind of, yeah, he's got like 2 globalness about him.
Globalness.
Okay, and then if we look at the oldest member, that would be Kim Ji-young, the actor man, and the youngest member is Han Yoo-jin. He's actually born in 2007, and the actor man was born in 1998. So we've got a bit of a gap in the group.
Wow, yep. We did for 101 as well.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they said it, and I'm just unaware. We know the center is Zhang Hao, so he does get a solo song. Woo. I hope he uses his violin in it. That would be awesome.
I hope he uses his violin. Please, Zhang Hao, use your violin in your solo song.
Yeah, but we don't know who the leader is yet, and that's the part I'm saying. Maybe we do, and I just don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's probably going to be Hanbin or Zhang Hao.
Yeah. I can't imagine it being the oldest person. and those other people don't seem responsible enough, probably.
Yeah. I was surprised to actually see Ganuk carry, because him and Hanbin during their live that they did today, he was carrying.
He's really good at like content, like with the lives especially.
Yeah, he is. So like, I'm glad they have somebody like that. Yeah. Actually,
I think he's good at at that aspect, and also at like interacting with the other members and sort of like helping like bring things together, you know?
He's like the bridge between the, you know, ones who don't really provide any content and also the ones who, like, you know, it's not like Hanbin 24/7.
Yeah. Like I was saying about Hot Summer, it seemed like a lot of individuals. A lot of Hot Summer people ended up getting in, and so it's like I feel like they kind of need some help, like meshing, like they need some sort of glue or something. I'm sure over time it'll seem more, you know, cohesive, but to me now it still kind of seems like, okay, we were all the top people and we were voted into this, and so like they're like learning how to be a group.
Yeah. It's probably going to be a little bit weird at first. Like, I thought Kepler was a little bit, like, you could tell that they were getting used to being a group in the first few content pieces. But, you know, they'll probably, hopefully, unless the members really are, like, just kind of weird and don't ever want to, like, interact with each other, then it'll be a weird group. But, you know, it'll take some time to be a group.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention some stuff about the winning speeches. I kind of glossed over that, but Ganuk had not prepared his speech, but I thought he had one of the best ones.
Yeah, I thought his was really good. Was he the one that said something really good and then someone else tried to like steal it afterward and say the same thing that he said? I think Hanbin,
Maybe.
yeah. I think Hanbin at the end said something that Ganuk said at the end of his, and I was like, yeah, so.
Zhang Hao's was good too, when he's like, he's saying so many different languages, but he was saying he wasn't good at like English, but he did perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Not good. They were making fun of Gyubin in the live that they did, saying how he's sorry he forgot his lines that he prepared. So that's probably going to be a little bit of a running joke.
Yeah, it'll probably be a meme of some kind.
Yeah, and there's a lot of crying. Like, Gyubin was crying, like, the whole time.
I think he was crying because he got in.
Yeah, because he didn't want to be there.
Because literally he said in the live that, like, after it, after the group was formed, the live stream that they did, he said, I thought that once I debuted it would be over, but now I'm realizing that there's like more or something, and I'm like, what? So I think in his mind he was thinking like, you know,
the commentary thing.
Yeah, the commentary thing.
Yeah.
I think in his mind he was thinking like, gotta get in the group, gotta debut, gotta get in the, and he wasn't thinking past that.
Yeah.
You know, and so then when it like became a reality and he was like, I'm in this group now, it hit him probably that he was like, oh my god, like now I am like, a whole new thing is going to be starting that I wasn't even considering.
Yeah. It's going to be like, I feel like as far as, you know, winning speeches, like the Boys Planet ones were pretty iconic. Like, there were a lot of happenings during them, and it's like, you know, the whole Zhang Hao Hanbin thing is going to be very iconic.
Yeah.
The whole Ganuk going up the stairs early is iconic.
He said everything he had to say.
Jiyoung asking what the group name was is like, you know, like there's a lot of memorable moments about it. And, you know, Ricky's quoting that song again. So just a lot going on. But it was a lot going on in Boys Planet, like, the whole time. So it wasn't anything new. It's just, you know, we have to see if the group is going to be as chaotic as the show.
Yeah.
With ZEROBASEONE, I think that it will be, like, I'm curious to see what they will be doing for a concept. I don't understand the direction that Mnet is going with their design. It's very distasteful in my opinion. Like, they had, when on the Mnet Plus app that you were supposed to vote on every week, they had dropped like 4 photos that were just, you know, like aesthetic design sort of concept images that they were like, okay, when you guys, the fans, since they're supposed to make the name, when you think of a name to suggest, look at these images and think of a name. And they were like purple and like kind of like fairy almost, like very like, you know, mystical sort of pretty images. And now they've got like gray ugly font, like, and then they've got some blue like basic text, and I just do not like the graphic design. I am sorry, but I hope it gets better.
Yeah, I hate the way that their like name is presented, like the ZEROBASEONE in the font that it is. I think it looks like some sort of like like knockoff salon shampoo brand or something. Like it looks, for some reason I associate it with a salon. I don't know why.
It looks like last minute, and I feel like Kepler's kind of looks bad too, and I do actually feel like a lot of companies and K-pop groups in general have that text style, like on these like plain bad color background. I don't like the graphic design that a lot of people are going with lately. I just personally don't like it. But and like their actual sound, I wonder if they're gonna go with a lighter concept first or a darker concept. I don't know.
I feel like they're probably gonna go with something like Hot Summer because that's so many of the people's style probably that have gotten in the group.
But whatever it is, I do think that both Kim Tae-rae and Park Gun-wook will be able to pull it off, because I feel like, to me, they really proved their versatility as far as like being able to suit different concepts.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait, should we say our like our not temporary, but like our initial like biases?
Sure.
So I think mine would be Gun-wook. Like it's either Gun-wook or Jong Hao.
Okay. I said mine is probably Jong Hao for now.
Okay.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, at the end of the day, Hui did not get in the group, but he did not seem devastated on stage when he was not in the group, and he already has posted other things on his social media. He did a cool like dancing video.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, that was really good. Really cool. And something that he never got to showcase on Boys Planet. And so far it seems to be, okay on that front.
Yeah, and he's been doing some Weverse lives as like Pentagon Hui. So hopefully he's able to stay doing that.
Yeah, and
Pentagon.
The Boys Planet saga has come to a close.
Yes.
So let us know by leaving a comment below who your Zero Base bias.
ZB1.
Sorry. Who your ZEROBASEONE initial bias is. Or, any other thoughts you have on the new group. Or maybe who you really wanted to get in the group but didn't.
Park Han-min, Seungwon, Sungmin, Eungi.
Oh God.
So many, Haruto, so many people, like, I feel really got gypped. Keita. But I mean, at least he has a group to go back to. Anyway, share with us in the comments.
Yes.
Don't forget to follow BlushCat on Spotify. If you're not following us there already, you can actually go to it's like a shortened link, if you will. It's Spotify, but without the vowels. .com/blushcat, and you can go to our actual like user page rather than just our podcast, and you can follow that as well, so that you'll be able to see like different playlists that we'll make and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also please follow the actual BlushCat podcast on Spotify, and you can listen to it there and also see the video version of it there. And if you're listening on Spotify or anywhere else that you listen to podcasts, the video version is available on YouTube.
Yeah.
So subscribe and turn on the notifications and like the video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been Almohnd
and me. Bye.
Meow 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 meow.